Hello, in this video I'm going to show some of the cool things that you can do with a very simple pixel art effect, which is just remapping some colors. Um, and so we've got a tile set here for like a Metroidvania kind of game. These come from this person Ansimuz on itch, so go check them out. And it's just a tile set, sort of this rocky pass is what the tile set is called, I think. Um, so let's jump right in. So first of all, it's important, we're using Pixelmash here, and to do the remap palette effect, we're going to want, first of all, to make sure that all of our original document colors are in this main palette right here. The way you do that, if they're not already there, is from the file menu, or sorry, the tools menu. You would choose add all document colors to palette, and then you can append or replace, and then when you do that, it will put them in the order it finds them, and then you can also go up to tools and auto sort palette if you want to sort them from darkest to lightest. So once you've got those set there, then we can add these. I've duplicated this first layer, so now we've got a second copy of it, and I can add the remap palette effect. So the first version of this effect we're going to do, let's make this look grassy instead of just dead rocks. So we've got remap help. So this by default, this is doing by luminance order. So it's got the darkest color mapped to black right here. If I add a new color, it'll map the second darkest color that it finds in the document to that, etc. That's one way you can go about it. But what I can also do is I can click on this and say add document palette. So it will take this palette up here and add it to my remap effect. And I want to replace it. So now this will look like it's doing nothing because it's remapping. It's remapping basically that document color to this color and that document color to this color, and since they're all the same, it's having no effect. So for example, if we want to make this look grassy, maybe we would come to the lightest color here and choose like a sort of a light green color, and then we would come to the next color and maybe we would duplicate that green color and make a little darker one, and maybe we'll do that with a couple more of these. So you can see how I'm going through one by one and just saying, okay, this will remap whatever the third to last color is there on the document palette, and it will make it whatever color I choose here. So I'm going a little bit darker, and let's do one more. Can copy the tone I just made and go a little bit darker. You can see just with that really easy set of adjustments, we've made this formerly rocky. Let me display the original here. We made that look like that. And so it's just a very quick way that we've made sort of a whole new tile set with a different setting on it. And let's save these as we go along. So we'll call that one grassy. And I'll turn that off, and let's duplicate this and let's make another one. So another one we can do with green, we can make this look mossy. So it's like we'll make the dark areas look like they're moss covered, but it will still be these rocks on top. So we'll go to the remap palette effect again. This time, since we're only going to be remapping the darkest colors, we can just use the luminance order version of the remapping that I was talking about, that will start with the darkest. So we could like make this start with kind of a dark green, and then add another one, and it will duplicate that color automatically. And then we can just lighten it a little bit, do another one and lighten it a little bit. You can see already it's just with those few clicks, we've got it looking like it's kind of moss growing up from the dark, dank recesses of these rocks and crawling around things, and we hardly had to do anything. And again, it's a quick way to get a different look from this basic one. All right, next one. So let's rename that mossy. Let's duplicate this again, set it visible, and let me check my notes. The next one let's do is, all right, let's do snow covered. So to do snow covered, we'll add the remap palette, and we're going to do the same thing where we add all document colors to the palette, because we're going to want to get in these lighter tones. But this is another pretty easy one. So snow, let's start the lightest and just replace that with white, and then we can come through these and starting from the lightest and just add slightly darker versions of gray, and you can tint these blue if you want, but I find that that's actually looks pretty nice. So just with those 3 shades of white, we made this go from barren rock to snow-covered rock. All right, moving right along. So that one is snowy. All right, so the next one we're going to do, I'll duplicate this again, do that. Let's do one that's icy. And so there's a couple ways you could do this. Like, I don't have to remap all the colors. One thing I can just do is this colorize thing. And if I want it to, whoops, I put that on the wrong layer. I want to put it on the layer I'm working on here. I can do colorize and do hue, and then just choose like a blue hue. And that's a really easy way to make something look icy. But since we're doing remapping of colors, let's do, or of the palette, let's do it this way where we can really dial in the exact color that we want. And I want to first let's just find what hue we want for this to be sort of icy, because we don't want it to be too purple or too green. Let's go a little bit greener on that. All right, we can go back and change this if we want. So I'm going to first choose my darkest one, because we're going to go in luminance order. Then I'll add another one and just start lightening it. And one way I can do this is just add all of the colors and start with the lightest one, and I may know that I want that to be like pure white. Then I can come down from that, and these are all sort of remembering their hue, and I can dial in slightly less white and slightly less saturated, and sort of come down with each of these. Just do it until it looks like it feels right. There, that's looking nice and icy. And again, you can do that the easy way with the recolor effect, but remap palette lets me choose each of them individually. All right, icy. Let's do another. Duplicate this, set it visible, and this one is going to be this one's going to be lava. So to do lava, so it'll look like sort of molten rock in these areas underneath, and then cooled off gray rock up at the top. So to do this, let's do a remap palette effect, and let's add all the document colors, all the document palette colors here. Now, and there are several ways you could do this. Let's start with the top. So the lightest colors, which are up at the top, these we're just going to be like sort of different levels of gray, because we want this to look like the sort of solidified rock up here. So maybe we'll take 3 of these brightest colors and make them different versions of from light to dark of gray. All right. And then let's go for the lava. So maybe the hottest color, the hottest lava will be a medium one here. And let's set that to something quite bright and red. All right, and these two darker colors were already a pretty good red, but we can make sure they're the exact same hue as this one, and then just bring that down. And we will use the color selector, choose the hue we just chose, and bring that down. And then this one, that's sort of between the dark gray rock and the bright red lava, we can sort of make that a color like between them. So here's where the bright red is, here's where that gray is, so I can just literally like sort of find a space between them that looks nice. I could make it even brighter red if I wanted to, and that can look nice, but then it's a really harsh transition to those dark gray spots. So in my experiments, it kind of looks best if it's something sort of in between them. But you can just sort of dial it in however you like. But to me, that looks like a pretty good lava. All right, so you can see just with these non-destructive layer effects, you can really get kind of a billion different looks really quickly.